What an episode of Monday Night Raw. For the maniacs, do you feel that? My Mark-O-meter is off the charts. We are so back. WWE literally just said, get out of here with that PG shit. This whole thing was absolutely beautiful. Brother, I didn't know I could be even more excited about WrestleMania 40. Our boy Rocky said, here's the blood you ordered. And what about this segment? Drew bragged about being the chosen one. But y'all know who chose Drew McIntyre? A certain man who likes to shit on heads, you know, a bit of a creep. Who chose you? What was his name? What paragon of good virtue chose you? Holy shit on his silver plate. We are so back, ladies and gentlemen.
PG, brother.
No, seriously, I believe this was the best episode of Monday Night Raw I've seen all year. This did not feel PG at all. Yes, we got some censorship when it comes to words and all that, but just like CM Punk said, we're not yet on Netflix, right before he talked about licking puss. Dude, I'm so excited about making this video, but before I go any further, before we jump into this review, I just want to remind you that this is what we're getting now, and we've come a long way from this. Here, next time someone tells you that WWE didn't improve at all, just tell them to go themselves. Come on. Holy shit, I watched this episode with no expectations. The Rock was advertised for the next show, yet he absolutely stole this one. And again, the fact that this promo was so good and they even referenced Vince in a bad way, they acknowledged the shit. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm a mark today. I'm a complete mark, and I'm proud of that shit, man. I just watched a 3-hour episode of Raw and I was entertained to my guts. Let's talk about what happened on this show. And of course, I know a lot of you are going to be watching this video, maybe even some new people, so make sure to subscribe if you already didn't. Trying to finish my story, 500,000 subscribers. Like this video if you enjoyed this episode of Raw. Let's just jump into it. Maybe it's because WWE sold so many tickets, but we got a smaller Tron. Honestly, I kinda like that. The more simple WWE is, not in a modern way, the more I appreciate it. So we see Cody Rhodes. I'm not expecting much. Just like he said during this promo, what is there to talk about? WrestleMania is just right around the corner. He said Roman called me a politician, but I always keep my promises. He was the best man of a fan's wedding. He attended a 5-year-old's birthday party. Honey, what is that?
Just my friend Cody.
Honey, he's 40.
Yeah, but don't worry, mommy. He's not gonna eat the entire cake. He doesn't finish anything.
He acts, dresses the way he does for one reason. He pretends to be the champion because the champion isn't always there. Seth Rollins in the mud. Sorry, Rollins. We're talking real champs right here, I guess. Which was, okay, I get what he's talking about, but man, they're not doing Seth Rollins any favors. But there's one thing he's going to ask from the audience, and that's to point at a WrestleMania sign, because he's taking the fans to this ride. If you smell, I think I do, the final boss appeared randomly on an episode of Monday Night Raw, and the pop, man. Like, once his music hits, everyone just turned around and it just exploded. Because it was unexpected. Nobody thought they were going to see The Rock on a random episode of Monday Night Raw unannounced. So we see the face-off and The Rock whispers something to Cody. Now we don't know what it was. We have no idea. But from what I understood, he made a promise. And I guess we found out what that promise was by the end of the episode. Dwayne didn't want to reveal what he said. Ask Cody. They asked Cody and he said, I can't tell you, but it's a promise he can't keep. Well, can't he? Because I think he did. I just saw blood on a random episode of Monday Night Raw that's been rated TV PG. And I'm a happy boy. I'm a very happy boy. So this was a really good segment, and I know people are going to be complaining. At this point, just give us The Rock versus Cody. I get that. Maybe they should focus on Reigns and Cody a little bit more, but that's also the main event of WrestleMania. It kinda makes sense. But we see the Judgment Day, and the only thing they want at this point is for JD to just win a match. So we got Ricochet versus JD McDonald's Big Mac Double Cheeseburger, ladies and gentlemen, and that was actually a match that I didn't think is going to go that hard. For whatever reason, they just said, let's cook that shit. So we got this great match on Monday Night Raw. Now Dominic intervened interfered. He made sure to move the ropes, so Ricochet fell. The referee told Dominic to leave, and I was like, okay, so that means JD wins, right? Nuh-uh, Ricochet wins the match. 3 W's in a row on Monday Night Raw, which is pretty good. Seems like the dude is getting some kind of a push. People, then we see CM Punk. I'm not gonna do this promo any justice, and that makes me really angry because it's one of these segments you need to go back and watch, so I hope you will. But I can give you some of the highlights. This was great. The delivery, it being not PG, the references you would think could not be on WWE television. I love this shit, man. Let's try to talk about it. He welcomes everybody to Monday Night Raw. Will we see CM Punk at WrestleMania? The short answer is yes. People are saying I'm good on the microphone, on commentary, in the ring. But one thing I never did is a special guest referee, which is weird that he said that because he's not gonna be the special guest referee, at least as of right now. I mean, he teased that maybe a certain match needs a special guest referee, but the reveal is that he's a commentator. He talked about Pat McAfee's show with Roman Reigns, and he talked about Roman Reigns talking about CM Punk. And he said, once I go up that mountain again and you go down, I think we're about to meet. He calls out Seth Rollins making fun about injuring his arm, you know, being a professional since he was 14 years old, paying that price. Man, I just love that shit. Just that old school vibe from CM Punk right here. Nice shit. But The Rock didn't say anything about me. I guess he knows that his arms are just too short to box with the God, which is a reference from their rivalry back in 2013, I believe. And he talks about Drew McIntyre because we all know Drew McIntyre is wilding on social media, and he says, I didn't say a word because I want to talk to him face to face like a man. And of course we see Drew McIntyre. Stop that stupid song, nobody likes it. Again, I can't do this promo any justice. It was hilarious. It's all about the delivery. Me talking about it just doesn't give you that same experience, man. Get your bitch ass in here. Drew keeps talking about how CM Punk deserved it. Are you a man or an internet troll in a skirt? Let's find out. You could get cancelled for that. I mean, he's kinda right, unfortunately. He talks about his shirt. It has CM Punk's name on it. CM Punk says, I never had to use another man's name to sell a t-shirt. Oh, this shit seems so personal, man. Love it. Drew says, you complete me because every time something goes wrong, I think about you. I'm living your dream. Then he talks about being the chosen one, and like I've said, he talked about Vince. Like, that's fucking crazy, and I hope it was scripted because I don't want to see him getting in that trouble. It seems like I wouldn't have guessed, man. That's wild. Who chose you? Was it the people? What was his name? What paragon of good virtue chose you? The crowd went nuts, of course. Like I've said, it was Vince McMahon. Everybody knows that. That's when wrestling is at its best. This is almost like a pipe bomb. He's dropping these mini pipe bombs every time he's in that ring, it seems like, again. Drew tells Punk, maybe you should be on commentary and watch me becoming the World Heavyweight Champion in his stadium. Of course, we see Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is mad at CM Punk because he's making decisions about a match that he's not even in. So he asks the crowd what should happen. Should CM Punk be on commentary? And everybody chants, but then everybody started chanting referee. Seth Rollins says, I don't think he can do that with a broken arm. And CM Punk, well, he kinda showed you that he has 2 arms. Yet still, he's not gonna be the special guest referee unless something changes. I mean, now the fans are actually demanding it, so maybe next week they're going to say, well, I'm going to be a special guest referee. But CM Punk says, I couldn't be a fair referee. Not with these 2 dipshits.
PG, brother.
But Seth Rollins doesn't care. You can be a referee, commentator, doesn't matter to me. I don't care about you. Then CM Punk with another great line. He pointed out all the gimmick elements and things about Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. You know, your skirt, your wife, your heels, your attires. He basically said none of that works, so I'm going to make people interested in you or something along those lines. For the first time. What a segment. But that's not it. Drew McIntyre says, you don't get to have the last word. I'm living your dream. You're my #1 stan. And of course, Seth Rollins beats the shit out of Drew McIntyre. Absolutely loved this. Man, what else is here to say? This was amazing. I'm getting these... I hope I'm not over-exaggerating. I know some of you felt the same way. This is not the same WWE, man. It feels like anything can happen at this point. That's how I felt when I started watching AEW, like when it actually began. It was so different. And it seems like WWE lately are so much more loose. You know, it's not as strict anymore. I've just watched WrestleMania 27 for a review. I watched that WrestleMania and it's like, holy shit, everything is so McDonald's, so bland. I don't know how to put it, you know, so childish in a way. And this is so different. This is so different. Candice LeRae doubled down on her heel turn. Acted like she's injured, but she's not. And her partner is not very happy about that. I mean, I honestly don't give a shit, but hopefully it's going to work out. We see New Day and DIY arguing backstage. How is it DIY if there's two of you? Good point. How can you be the New Day? There's nothing new about you. Also, good point. Awesome Truth is going to join JBL on commentary. That's Pat McAfee. Oh, JBL changed his name? I love that shit. It's so easy, it's so lazy in a way, but it's just so good. R-Truth has great delivery. So we saw the New Day versus DIY. R-Truth was hilarious on commentary, as always. But the match was cut short when we got the Judgment Day, and they beat the shit out of everyone. And once they got to R-Truth, my man is like, cut to commercial! Cut to commercial! As if he's watching the show. If they go to commercial, he's not gonna get hurt because everything goes dark. But of course, they did take care of R-Truth. It's Awesome Truth winning the championships at WrestleMania, right? How can it end any other way? Gunther doesn't believe Sammy is going to beat him at WrestleMania. He also doesn't believe Sammy is going to beat Bronson Reed. Will you be watching the match? I do not think he can beat Bronson Reed. Man of a few words. So Andrade versus Giovanni Vinci, which is pretty cool. You know, I miss watching Andrade, you know. And obviously he picked up that W. Rhea Ripley is angry that Becky Lynch is focusing on all of these opponents. Just like Drew McIntyre is angry at Seth Rollins that he's focusing on other opponents and not just Drew McIntyre. But we see Becky Lynch, and this was pretty nice, you know. Rhea Ripley mentioned her daughter, and she said, don't you dare mention my daughter. She started crying. She said her father never got to meet her daughter, and she knows he would be proud of the mother she is. So she doesn't take jokes about her family lightly or something along those lines. But this was pretty passionate, you know. I wasn't a big fan of this rivalry, but I know how impactful it's going to be. She also smacked the shit out of Dominic, which was entertaining. And I mean, whatever the case may be, man, care about it or not, this has potential of being one of the best matches of WrestleMania. Seems like right now Chad Gable just wants to help Sami Zayn. So we got Sami versus Bronson Reed, which is fine, but I believe we kinda got an unexpected finish, but it kinda makes sense because of what happened later. So yes, Sami lost because Gunther distracted him. Chad Gable says, you're one of the toughest opponents I know, but you just need a different approach. So if you want that, let's talk. Sami Zayn is going to join Alpha Academy. Kinda. Chad Gable faced Gunther. Chad Gable is all about teaching people, so I believe that's what we're going to get. And maybe we'll even see Chad Gable in his corner, because obviously we're going to see Imperium. So maybe WWE are doing it because people just want to see Chad Gable in that match. Now it's kinda impossible, but we'll see. Seth Rollins says, we got your back, but something ain't right. And so we got Jey Uso versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't even know why, man. Jey Uso wins, even though we got the bloodline. Backstage, Cody is beating the shit out of Jey Solo, but we got the final boss, and oh my god. He beats the shit out of him with all the weapons, and it's already great, but I did not expect to see blood, man. We got blood, and The Rock is shouting all of the shit, you know, Mama Rhodes. Daddy talked about hard times. I'm gonna show you hard times, boy. It didn't have to be that way. You wanna be a hero? The Rock's not your hero, you son of a bitch. He has Cody's blood on his hands. He pulls out the belt. The Rock is a man of his word. He said he's going to put your son's blood on this belt. And my man kept his promise. This shit's wild. Look at your boy, Mama Rhodes. And they censored it, but I guess I can read from the lips. He said, this is what happens. You don't fuck with the final boss. This shit's wild, brother. Again, man, I don't think there's a single wrestling fan who thought this sucks, and if they did, I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't know what to tell you. This is something you couldn't imagine seeing in the PG era. Maybe something along those lines, not like we didn't see blood, but not this effective, not with that many, you know, swears and all that shit. This is crazy, man. Now I can't wait for both main events, and that's what WWE achieved. Dude, you didn't even have to build Roman Reigns versus Cody that hard. We already want to see that match. They already have history. But this This is wild. We're eating good, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for watching this video. You feel the energy? WrestleMania is coming soon. Absolutely can't wait. Don't remember the last time I was this excited about Mania. So it's a good time to be a wrestling fan, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you already didn't. Yeah, boy, the Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.